Hello everybody, welcome back. Thank you for joining me for another video. All right, before we get started to this, I got a lot to tell you. I got a lot to show you. So let's get started with that. First of all, we might as well get this guy out of the way and show you guys how this dried. So I love it and I love the composition. And I think I'm gonna do that again, perhaps today. Actually, we'll see. I haven't even decided yet, but look at that. So I'm trying to get the shimmer in here. You can see that there's an outline of the pearl color in here. Let me see if I can get you to see that. I don't know, can you see that? It's hard to see. You can see some of it there. But I'm so happy and pleased with how this turned out. And the little baby blue looks so pretty with this. And I love this part, like this. It's like a flower. I like it. And then these big cells here, monstrous cells. It turned out so perfectly. I love it. It's lovely. I love it. So that is, or this is available for purchase. It's still obviously going to get a top coat of crystal resin. And then it shall be ready. So let me put it over here out of the way. Really quickly, if you saw my last video, it's still going on. There is a Loli Veffy sale happening, okay? No kit this time. We'll do a kit next month. But this is a chance for you to get whatever you need from Loli Veffy and get a discount on it. So let's say you're running out of bottles or you need more bottles or you want another silicone mat, you know, something like that. You can stock up on your favorites and get a discount. So the more you spend, the bigger the discount. So head on over to Loli Veffy and get yourself a discount. I had a lot of people ask me in the comments and are still asking me, like even on Facebook comments, did I get my last package delivered in Texas just in time for Fluid Art Experience? And the answer is yes. My last package that went missing was the box with all my 10 by 10 canvases that my students were going to top coat and resin in the class. And that package arrived 2 days before the event on Lee's doorstep. So thankfully everything arrived. It arrived intact. Nothing was damaged. So I'm so grateful for that. But man, lesson learned. I think next FAE next year, I'm going to send stuff like a month and a half in advance. Like, I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous because you just never know. Is it going to get held up at customs? Is it going to get lost? Like, who knows, right? So that's done. I've had a few people ask me to show you guys the jewelry box tops from when I did the jewelry boxes, the Bloom jewelry. So I took them all to FAE. I took them all to Texas. I sold 3 of them and 2 of them came back home with me. But this is what the tops look like, resined. I have 2 and they're actually both the same color palette. So these 2 are, and you know what the funny thing is? These 2 are my favorite color palette and yet they're the ones that came back home with me. But look at the back. So I just want to show you when you tape it nicely, you know, the backs turned out, almost dropped it. There we go. Backs are so crisp and clean. I don't have the bottoms because they're wrapped up in bubble wrap because I'm taking them to Montreal to see if I can sell them in Montreal. But yeah, look how nice they look with a top coat of resin. Absolutely cute. So I have a ton more that I'm gonna do when I find the time. I don't have time because I'm getting ready for Montreal. Heading to Montreal. It's like an 8-hour drive for me and Anthony's coming with me and I'm teaching classes on April 12th. So if you are interested in coming to Montreal or just hopping over the border from like, I don't know what's over on that side, Boston or something. I don't know. I'm geographically challenged when it comes to that stuff, but you know, come on, hop over the border if you want, or from wherever, Ottawa, Quebec, wherever, Kingston, I don't know. Come and see me. I'm teaching classes for 1 day. That's April 12th. In the morning, I'm teaching a blowout class. In the afternoon, I'm teaching a bloom class. And then in the early evening for a shorter class, I'm teaching a top coat resin class where you'll get to resin on a 10 by 10 inch canvas and take a piece of my art home with you. I'm gonna have really cool swag bag goodies, you know, from sponsors like Loli Veffy, Fluid Art Co, Amsterdam. I'm super excited to do another swag bag of goodies. I'm super excited. And of course, some of my own stuff. But yeah, so that's happening April 12th. If you're interested, email me at canellaciraco@gmail.com. And then Spokane, Washington, June 6th to 9th. All-inclusive lakeside retreat. If you want information on that event being hosted by Billy from Fluid Art Co, you can go into the description below my video and there's a website link where you can get all the information. Next thing on the topic of discussion are spinners. I spent literally like 8 hours in the workshop in the garage over there, and I literally cut as many spinners as I could with the wood that I had purchased from Home Depot. And I cut a bunch of spinners. Half of them are already spoken for and have already been purchased because they had pre-orders, but I do have some small spinners and then my large spinner available. So let me show you first the small spinner. And you can buy it with or without the Loli Veffy mat. I personally think if you don't have a mat, you should get it because it helps the canvas to stay and not slide off. It also keeps your spinner clean, but look how nicely it spins, okay? So then there's the back and there's the bottom. And so this is a small spinner, and I believe the span from here to here is 14 and so inches, something like that. So that's the small spinner with the mat or without the mat. And then we have the large spinner, which I have not yet assembled, but same idea. And a bigger circle will go in the back with the swivel. So this is the bigger spinner. And from here to here, it measures 21 inches, okay? And on this guy, I can put a 16-inch round, a 12 by 24-inch canvas. I could even put a 14 by 18. Like, I mean, it's almost right to the edges, but it'll still work. See, this is why I added these extra nubs too. Here, actually, I do have a Loli Veffy mat. There we go. See, my used Loli Veffy mat. So this is why I added these little extra nubs on the spinners. So on my large spinner, so that when I put a mat on it, it doesn't flop down like this. So it gives it some sort of extra protections for the mat to stay flat and for the canvas. Actually, I know I don't have a spinner on the bottom of this, which sucks because I just haven't had the time. Let me put it on top of this guy. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, so let's see. Let me get this guy here. So you can, actually, you could do it like this too. I'm not centered here, but you get the idea. I don't want to spin too hard in case I knock something over. But there you go. I mean, you can put a 14 by 18, anything smaller than that. I know you can do a 12 by 24 inch. Let's see if I did it this way, how would it look? Yeah, no, the other way was better. And then let me show you. You could do, let me grab this guy. This is a 16-inch round. So clearly there's ample space to do a 16-inch round. I even put a 20-inch round, which I don't have on hand really right now, but you could probably do, I know you can because I've done it, but it comes like right to the edge, but you could still do it. You could still put a 20-inch round on this guy as well. And like, I mean, I'm using the small spinner underneath, but I mean, come on, right? It's pretty smooth. And I love it so much because it's so low to the table. Unlike your cake spinners that people buy, which are really high up, and then you spin it and then you get splattered in the stomach area. But because my spinners are so low to the ground, you do not get splattered and you do not make a mess on yourself. So you can buy the spinner. The large spinner is $75 Canadian. or 100 with the Loli Veffy Matte. And then the little guys are $50 Canadian, or 65 with the Loli Veffy Matte. Okay, so you can pick and choose. It's like I said, Canadian currency and shipping is extra. Okay, so if you want information or have inquiries or you have any questions or you want to order, you can email me at kanellaciraco@gmail.com. All right, that is it for the talking. I'm centered, I'm good, awesome. Let's get started before I talk your ear off, because some of you don't like it. Some of you complain that I talk too much. But for those of you who didn't want to hear it, I hope you fast forwarded, but then you missed a whole bunch of information. All right, so that's also not cool. All right, 14 by 18 inch canvas. And today I'm using my rainbow colors. So you remember I did black base, rainbow color, still needs resin. I did that, but the original was obviously inspired by Lisa Marvin when I did the turquoise base, which this also still needs resin. I have to have a resin day and I have to resin, maybe tomorrow. So I'm using the same rainbow colors. Check out the videos for the colors or in the description below. All right, today I'm gonna do base color is a Prussian blue phthalo by Amsterdam. And I lightened it up a smidgen, just a smidgen, with titanium white because I feel like it was too dark. And we all know what happens with paints. They always dry darker. So I didn't want this to look like a black when it dried. So there's my Prussian blue phthalo. Let me see. Yeah, Prussian blue phthalo. Now, the colors I'm using today are, this is Cadmium Free Red Light by Liquitex. Lisa had brought this over. It says acrylic gouache. Okay, don't ask me how I mixed that. I can't tell you. I mixed it when Lisa was here and I didn't write it down. So unfortunately, I can't tell you. 24 karat gold by DecoArt. Then we have the same thing, Liquitex Basics again. This one is called Fluorescent Violet. All right, then we have one of my favorites, Metallic Cobalt Blue by Artist Loft. Then we have Interference Turquoise by TriArt. I'm totally running out of this color. I have to make some more. Quinacridone Magenta by Holbein. And I always put a little bit of Titanium White by Amsterdam on the top, but I don't know if I'm going to do that. Now, if you don't have these two colors here, that is fine. You could substitute it with Luminous Violet by Holbein. Look, they're literally the exact same color. So you can substitute it with that. And then with the orange one, you could substitute it with, how about some vermilion? Look at that. I mean, if that's not similar, I don't know what is. So you could substitute. You don't have to get the Liquitex gouache because that stuff is expensive. All right, I'm gonna flood the canvas and I shall be right back. Okay, my peoples. So before I forget, if you are using a base for the base and it is a transparent paint, may I suggest you do not be lazy like yours truly over here and actually paint the sides of your canvas before you get started, because transparent, I can see, even though I like coated it really well, I can see the edges of the canvas. So yeah, it doesn't cover. If it's transparent, it does not cover very well. So your best bet is to paint the edges that color. And even though I added some titanium white to this, it doesn't matter if what you paint around is darker or not, just paint it. It'll save you some headache after. All right, composition, I'm gonna do the same as the other two because I kind of want to keep the same theme going and the same series going. So the same style, but just changing the background. So that is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to be a little bit more light-handed on the orange because it took over last time on the black base, which looked really, really good. I see fluff. And I caught it. I did. I caught it. So anyways, I don't want it overtaking the blue. Although, what football team is blue and orange? I know this. I should know this. I don't want to say the wrong team and then act like and be an idiot. But I don't watch football. But I know you guys, I know you know what I'm talking about. Okay, let me concentrate for a sec. I think that works out well. Look at that. What team is it? That's going to bug me. I'm going to have to Google it after. All right. So now we've got the 24K by DecoArt. And as I tell you all the time, be very light-handed with the DecoArt. You don't want to overdo it. All right. So as you all know, I got back. Oh, everyone keeps asking me about the dogs. I forgot to tell you guys about the dogs. A couple of videos back, I told you guys I picked up the boys from boarding and they smelled horrendously bad, like so bad that I made a complaint and they told me to take them back on Friday, which I did. And they got rebathed and regroomed and extra washed. And I was on my way to pick them up because she's like, oh, we'll be ready in 20 minutes. So I was like, great. So I make my way over, which is a 30-minute drive. And as I'm 5 minutes away, she calls me up and she says, can you come back like in like half an hour? And I'm like, no, I'm already 5 minutes like away. I said, why? She's like, well, we had the dogs on the table and we were drying them. And Echo decided to pee everywhere on the groomer and on himself. And then he decided to squat and drop a you know what. So he peed and pooped everywhere. I think honestly he was just traumatized. And then I find out Juno also peed everywhere. So they had to be somewhat rebathed under their bellies. I was like, oh my gosh, these guys, you silly boys. So yeah, they peed all over their groomers, which they've never done before. But personally, I think they were just a little traumatized from, they hate water, they hate baths. So getting 2 baths in like less than a week was, oh shoot, that was Holbein. Be light-handed with Holbein. I totally went so dark with that. I squeezed that one a lot. See what happens when I talk? I don't pay attention. And I put way too much Holbein on that, but it is what it is. We'll see. My white is oozing here. Anywho, so they ended up cleaning them up super duper quick, and I just had to wait a little bit. But put them in the car, came home, and when I tell you they smelled divine, they smelled so good. Even to this day, it's been, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, and they still smell fantastic. I'm so happy, and I'm very grateful to the kennel and the boarding people who redid them and gave them a nice fresh bath. So they smell wonderful. All right, enough talking. Let's blow this out and see what happens because I way overdid it on the Holbein. Let's go. Well, so even though I put so little of this at the beginning, it definitely showed up, and so did the Quinacridone Magenta by Holbein. So I had these cells over here on the end and they were starting to fall over, so I actually blew them back in. But this cluster over here, oh my goodness, is amazing. Now, in my classes, in my in-person classes, I always tell everybody, the first color that you put down on the canvas, 9 times out of 10 is going to be the outline of your petals, and case in point, this is what I'm talking about. So, and the last color you put down, which in this case was my Quinacridone, is going to be the most dominant color in your painting. And as you can see, that is also case in point. So keep that in mind when you are layering your colors. The color you put down first is going to be most dominant around the petals, the edges, and then the color you put on last is going to be the most dominant. I flipping love this thing. I kind of wish it was not going to go over the bottom, down over the edge, but it is going over the edge, so it is what it is. I'm going to kind of blow this orange in because I don't like how much orange that is, and I want to make it more blue. So don't mind my messy, poofy hair. See, that's so much better. I like that so much better. Oh my gosh, that is so pretty. This is stunning, stunning. Now this is gonna end up going over the edge for sure, which I really didn't want. I kind of wanted to keep it off the bottom, although I'm looking at my other 2 pieces and those also went off the bottom. So I guess we're matchy-matchy at that point. There is nothing I want to do to this other than fix my edges. And I don't know why, but I really like this streak in here. I love that streak. Now I could blow some of this outwards with my mouth right here, this little right here, but I don't want to do that. I actually really love it the way it is. So I'm going to fix my edges and I'm going to bring you guys in for a close-up. I'll be right back. All right, before we get to the close-up, take your stick and scrape those drippies. Scrape, scrape, scrape. All 4 sides. Come back 10 minutes later, do it again because there's going to be some new ones. But yeah, let's check this out. So again, even though I went very light-handed on the orange, it definitely came through. Maybe I should be a little more light-handed, just like I am with the 24 karat gold and Holbein. But I love that rainbow of clusters there. And look at that. This is so interesting, these colors. They work so well together. It's like very rainbow-ish, but not. But it is. But look at that. Now, let's check out the shimmer. All right, nice and dark in the studio today because it is a gloomy, rainy day. Blah. Last night it snowed. Can you believe that? Oh, that's horrible. Anywho, look at that shimmer. Oh my goodness gracious. You know, every time I do this flyover, I pray that I do not drop my phone in the paint because that would really suck. But look at that. Look at that little gold. So much shimmer in this. Always so much shimmer with this color palette. This is stunning. Absolutely stunning. I love it. I love it. And there you have it, my friends. Would love to know what you think of this base color with this color palette. Let me know in the comments below. Again, if you want to come and see me in Montreal or Spokane, you can find the information below in the description. Go on to loliveffy.com and get yourself any supplies that you may want to stock up on and save on that deal. It ends very, very soon, actually. So, you know, head on over to Loliveffy. I think that is it. I'm going to keep working in the studio. I got spinners to pack up and swag bags to fill. So I'm going to get busy. So until next time, that is it for me for now. Until next time, my friends, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Have a good night. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.